Hello students, now in this second lecture we will start from the graph of non-linear relation. Non-linear relation, I have told that the equation will be of this form: x to the power n, where n is greater than 1. This may be an integer, there may be the integer power as well as there may be the power in fraction. So graph of such type of function, such type of relations will be the what type of graph? It will be a curve. It will not be a straight line. Here it will not be a straight line. So when it is not a straight line, it is a curve. So you can see here its slope is not uniform. Here slope is smaller, here slope is bigger. It's clear? Or if you draw another curve like this, so you can see in the beginning slope is very high, but afterwards it gradually decreases. Slope is not uniform means, already I have told what is the meaning of slope. Slope means rate of change of y with respect to change in x. Delta y upon delta x means here delta y upon delta x slope will be non-uniform. Non-uniform. It's clear? Here slope will be different at different points. Different at different points means you take one point P, you take one point other point Q, at both the points slope is different. It's clear? At which point slope is more, so at the point Q slope is more. So how will you determine the slope at any particular point? Slope at any particular point. So see here we have taken this, we will apply that previous concept. That our old concept, take 2 points on the curve. I have taken one point, this P, here its value is x1, this value is x2, this is x1 and this is x2. Then you see their corresponding values y values. So you will find that this is y1 and here this is y2, y1 and this is y2. It's clear? So when you will find out by this way, y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1, it will give the average slope of curve in between P and Q. It will give the average slope of curve. Average slope of curve in between P and Q. It's clear? Means what is the meaning of delta y upon delta x here? It is the average slope. Means what is the average slope in between P and Q, that can be found by that way. It's clear? If you join P and Q, when you will join P and Q, so as you know that line joining any 2 points of the curve is known as the chord. It is known as the chord. Means here you have joined P and Q. This is the PQ is a straight line. It is the chord of the curve. So we can say that this PQ, this delta y upon delta x, it is the slope of chord PQ. It is the slope of chord PQ, and y it will be the slope of chord PQ. You can see from here. Now in context of curve, it is the average slope of the curve. But in case of this chord, when we are saying del y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1, in case of the chord, so it is the slope of chord PQ, and y it is the slope of chord PQ, that you can see here. From here to here this distance is x1. From here to here distance is x2. So what is x2? This x2 minus x1. This you can take m. This Pm will be equal to x2 minus x1. Then you can see here, this is y1. So this will also be equal to y1, while this whole is y2. So what will be qm? Qm will be y2 minus y1. It's clear? Now this card PQ is making what angle from the x-axis? It is making what angle from x-axis? So you can see here, it is making this angle from the x-axis. It's clear? This angle will be equal to this. Now as we know that from the formula of the slope of card PQ. Card means line joining any two points on the curve. Card PQ, it is a straight line, therefore this PQ card is a straight line, it is making theta angle from the direction of x-axis, so it will be equal to tan theta, and tan theta you can write as y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Why you can write this? You can see in the triangle QMP. In triangle QMP, tan theta will be perpendicular upon base, y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So see here y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1 is what? It is the average slope of the curve in between P and Q. It is the slope of the card PQ. It is clear? But if you have to find the slope at any particular point, suppose P, if you have to find the slope at any particular point, because from P to Q slope is not uniform, slope is non-uniform, slope is variable. From when you move from P to Q, you will find that as you move ahead, what happens? Slope increases. Slope is not uniform. So if you have to find the slope at any particular point, then how will you find? How will you find the slope at any particular point? So for that, we will take point Q very close to the point P. Point Q very close to the point P. Means when Q is moving towards P, what will happen? When Q is moving towards P, Q यहाँ से यहाँ आ गया. What will happen to the card? Card will become smaller. Card will become smaller in length. When this Q moves from here to here, card will become more smaller. It is clear? Card will become more smaller. When Q point is infinitely close to P, Q point is infinitely close to P, what will happen? This card will change into tangent to the curve at point P. It is clear? How will you determine the slope at point Q? To determine, not Q, P. To determine slope at P, take point Q infinitely close to P. You will take point Q infinitely close to the P. It is clear? Infinitely close to the P means what will be this separation? What will be the delta x? Delta x will be tending to 0. Because Q is very close to P, in that case delta x will be tending to 0. It is clear? Then card PQ will change into tangent to curve at point P. It will change into tangent to the curve at point P. Means PQ will become tangent to the curve at point P. Means if I show you here, so it will be like this. Now I am means when point P is very close to the point Q, this will change into this. this card PQ will change into the tangent to the curve at point P, and the slope of this tangent will be the slope of curve at point P. Therefore, slope of curve at P equals to slope of tangent to the curve at P. Slope of tangent to the curve at P. It is clear. Now how will you determine the slope of this tangent? So already there is the same formula of slope. जिसकी स्लोप फाइंड आउट करनी है उसके ऊपर दो पॉइंट्स लेते हैं. फाइंड आउट देयर एक्स वैल्यूज, वाई वैल्यूज. सो नाउ वी हैव टू फाइंड द स्लोप ऑफ tangent. So we will take 2 points on the tangent. Take 2 points on the tangent. It's clear. One point I have taken this, another point I have taken this. What is their value? This is x1. What is here? It is x2. What are their y values? This will be y1. Now we will not take the points on the curve because we have to find the slope of tangent. Therefore, points will be taken on the tangent. This is y2. It is clear. And then what is the slope of tangent? Slope of tangent in the same way, y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. That is delta y upon delta x. Delta y upon delta x. This tangent is a straight line, therefore it will have the uniform slope. So see here, what is the procedure of determining the slope of a curve at any particular point, say P. So what will you do? You will draw the tangent to the curve at point P. Draw the tangent to the curve at point P. Take 2 points on the tangent. Determine their x values and y values, and then by using the formula y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1, that will be the slope of the curve at point P. It's clear. Means if you have to determine the slope of the curve at point Q, you will draw the tangent here. This will be the tangent. Now you determine the slope of the tangent. So it is the geometrical procedure. Now with the help of calculus, calculus is the branch of mathematics. It's clear. Calculus. And it makes some calculation very simple. In case of the graph, you can calculate the things very simple, in a very simple way. Which are very complicated, that becomes very much simple with the help of the calculus. It's clear. So see here, how will you, here this is the geometrical procedure I have told you. First you draw the graph, then locate the point at which you have to find the slope, draw the tangent to that point to the curve, and then find out the slope of tangent. Now there is another mathematical procedure. And what is the mathematical procedure? So just now you have seen that slope of curve at point P, this is equals to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1, where x1 y1 and x2 y2 are, where x1 y1 and x2 y2 are points on curve. Points on curve, not on the tangent. Here these points are on the curve. It's clear. y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1, when or delta y upon delta x, when delta x is tending to 0. It's clear. The value of delta y upon delta x, when delta x is tending to 0, will be the slope of the curve at the point P. will be the slope of the curve at the point P. But here you have to remember that these points are on the curve. They are not on the tangent. These 2 points are situated on the curve. So see here, it means slope is here what? Slope equals to delta y upon delta x when delta x is tending to 0. This we can write mathematically in this way. Limit delta x tending to 0. Delta y upon delta x. And in calculus, this thing is d by dx of y. D by dx of y. It is clear? Here, what is this? This is d by dx of y. In calculus, we call it as this. Sometimes students say dy upon dx. That is the not correct way. Correct way of reading this is d by dx of y. It is clear? So, slope we can find by calculating that value d by dx of y. Now, what is d by dx of y? So, now I am doing this. As already I have told, delta y upon delta x is what? Delta y upon delta x is rate of change of y with respect to x. Rate of change of y with respect to x. What is d by dx of y? D by dx of y. It is clear? Here d by dx is a operator. D by dx is a operator. We call it as operator, but we don't go in so much detail. It is clear? We are concerned only with that part which is required in the physics. I am not going in the very much mathematics of this. It is clear? So d by dx of y, it is the instantaneous value of this, you can say. It is the instantaneous rate measure of y with respect to x, and it is calculated. It is very much beneficial in those cases where this variation is of non-uniform nature, where this slope is varying continuously. It is varying continuously, so at any particular point, what will be the instantaneous rate measure of y with respect to x? That can be calculated by d by dx of y. We can also call it as instantaneous value of slope. Instantaneous value of slope at a point. It is clear? This is the d by dx of y. Now see here, we will calculate this d by dx of y for in some cases. Suppose there is a function like this, y equals to 5, or general form y equals to some constant. It is clear? K. You can take that constant as k. When you will calculate d by dx of y, what will be its value? So see here, as already you know that in this case, when the equation is like this, then whatever be the value of x, value of y will be always 5. Means there is no change in y with respect to x. यहाँ y की वैल्यू में कोई चेंज नहीं है with respect to x. So what is the delta y upon delta x? That will be 0, because there is no change in y with respect to x. So here this value will be 0. Here y is what? Constant. So you remember this thing, d by dx of constant. When you are calculating the d by dx of some constant, means some number, d by dx of 5, d by dx of 7, that will be 0. one more thing which I have forgotten to tell you. This is also known as, in mathematics we call it as differential coefficient of y with respect to x. In mathematics we call this as differential coefficient of y with respect to x. It's clear? Differential coefficient of y with respect to x. So, and in physics its meaning is this. It is clear? So, d by dx of constant, it is a 0. It is always 0. Now, there are some other formulae. Suppose here this is d by dx of constant multiplied by some function of x. D by dx of constant some multiplied by some function of x. So what will you take? What will you do? You take constant before. This is constant into d by dx of fx. It's clear? D by dx of fx. This is the second formula. It's clear? Now I am going to tell you one formula, and how that formula we have arrived at that formula. We will not go into that. Only formula I am telling to you. So see here there is one formula, and which is very frequently used in kinematics and in various places it is used. So this formula, d by dx of x to the power n. It is very much used in the physics and especially in kinematics. D by dx of x to the power n. Here it is differentiated. You have to take care that the operator is of x and this is also, power is also raised over x. Means these two things should be same. जिसके with respect differentiate कर रहे हैं और जिस पर power raise की गई है, that are same. So d by dx of x to the power n, what will you write? Nx to the power n minus 1. D by dx of x to the power n means nx to the power n minus 1. This is the formula. For example, you can see here d by dx of x cube. What is here? N is 3. So it will be 3x 3 minus 1, that is 3x square. It's clear? Suppose d by dx of 7x to the power minus 2. See here, first you see 7, you take out common, d by dx of x to the power minus 2. Formula can be applied because both are same. So it will be equal to 7 into, what is n here? N is minus 2. So what will you write? Minus 2 x to the power minus 2 minus 1, that is minus 14 x to the power minus 3. This is d by dx of 7x to the power minus 2. It is clear? Then you can see here d by dx of 5x. What is d by dx of 5x? So 5, then d by dx of x. There is no power, so you can take the power 1. It's clear? When you will apply the formula 5, what is the value of n here? Value of n is 1. It's clear? So 1x to the power 1 minus 1, that is 5x to the power 0. X to the power 0 is 1, so that will be 5. So you can see once again d by dx of 5x. 5 you take before d by dx. So 5 into d by dx of x to the power 1. When you will simplify d by dx of x to the power 1, it will become this according to this formula. So answer will come out 5. It is clear? Now see here, suppose if it is like this, d by dx of y to the power 7, then we cannot apply the formula. We will not be able to apply this formula directly here because both are different. Operator is of x and here power is raised over y. Power is raised over y. So what will you do here? You will write in this way, d by dy of y to the power 7 into dy upon dx. d by dx of y. So see here, this and this will be cancelled. What will be? What is left? d by dx of y to the power 7. It's clear? Means we have replaced it by y. d by dy of y to the power 7 into d by dx of y. So this dy will be cancelled. There will be same thing. Now we can apply the formula. It's clear? What is n here? N is 7. So it is 7 y to the power 7 minus 1 into d by dx of y. So it is 7 y to the power 6 d by dx of y. It's clear? Now one more I am going to tell you formula, that formula or rule, not formula, that is a rule. It's clear? Formula is this. Suppose here y is given 5x square minus 2x plus 6 and you have to find the d by dx of y. So it will be d by dx of 5x square minus 2x plus 6. It's clear? So you can separate the terms. So you will write d by dx of 5x square minus d by dx of 2x plus d by dx of 6. 5 you take before. When you will take 5 before, it is d by dx of x square minus 2 into d by dx of x, and d by dx of constant is always 0. It's clear? So what will be here? This value d by dx of x square, here in place of n there is 2. So it will be 2 into x ki power 2 minus 1, that is simply 2x. It is 5 into 2x minus 2 into 1, that already I have shown d by dx. So it is equals to 10x minus 2. So this way we can calculate it. It's clear? Now if suppose there is a multiplication, there is a function which is consisting two polynomials in multiplication or in division, means here you can see there is a relation y equals to u upon v. Here what is u? U of x, means it is a function of x. This is also some function of x. I am writing one example, 2x plus 1 upon 3x minus 4, like this. It's clear? Or you can take any one quadratic here, you can take 2x square plus 1, 3x minus 4. Now if you have to calculate this, then what is the formula? D by dx of y equals to, here v into du by dx minus u into dv by dx upon v square. This is the formula. It's clear? By using this formula we can calculate d by dx of u upon v. You can write this as d by dx of u upon v. It is equal to v into du upon dx minus u into dv upon dx. u into dv upon dx. This is in the quotient. Suppose this is in the multiplication. Y equals to u into v. U into v. Then what will be d by dx of y? So it is equals to u into dv upon dx plus v into du upon dx. It's clear? Means suppose there is a function like this, y equals to 3x square minus 7 and 2x plus 1 multiplied by 2x plus 1. So one you take as u, other you can take v, and then by using this formula you can determine. So it is the product of two functions. It is the quotient of two functions. So these are the formulae of, this is the formulae of quotient of two functions. Here it is the product of two functions. It is clear? Now where will be the use of this? So that I am going to explain you. It's clear? Because what is the use of this in physics? So you can see here, see the usage. Now see here, I am writing one question. There is a particle which is moving on a straight line. Particle which is moving on a, not on a straight line. There is a particle which is moving whose displacement with respect to time at any instant is given by this 3t cube minus 2 into t square plus 5t plus 7. Here there is a moving particle whose displacement at time t is given by this. It's clear? There is a particle whose displacement, moving particle whose displacement at a given time t is given by this expression. It's clear? Here x we have taken in meter and time in second. We have to determine the initial velocity. Initial velocity of particle. It's clear? Initial velocity of the particle. It's clear? Then one more thing, second point, we have to find the velocity at t equals to 2 seconds. Acceleration at t equals to 2 seconds. These things we have to determine. It is clear? So see here displacement is x, time is t. So what is the formula of velocity? Velocity equals to delta x upon delta t. In calculus we will call it as dx upon dt. And why do we use calculus? Because this is a non-linear equation. Non-linear equation, therefore graph will be curve. Graph of x versus t will be a curve. It is clear? Therefore velocity will vary point to point and it is varying non-uniformly here. So see here, first you find out velocity at time t. Velocity at time t, that we have represented by simple v or v of t. Right. It is clear? So it is d by dt of 3t cube minus d by dt of 2 into t square plus d by dt of 5 into t plus d by dt of 7. We will calculate this. Now 3 you take in the beginning. So 3 into d by dt of t cube minus 2 into d by dt of t square plus 5 into d by dt of t, and that is constant, so straightforward you can write 0. Straightforward you write 0. Now what is d by dt of t cube? So you will apply the same formula. D by dx of x to the power n equals to nx to the power n minus 1. Here in place of x you take t, so d by dt of t ki power n. D by dt of t ki power n. So what is n here? N is 3. So it is equals to 3 into 3 t ki power 3 minus 1 minus 2 into d by dt of t square is what? 2 t ki power 2 minus 1 plus 5 d by dt of t, it is 1. It is clear? So what will be this? 9t square minus 4t plus 5. It is clear? This is the velocity at the time t. Velocity at time t is given by 9t square minus 4t plus 5. But you have to determine the initial velocity. So how will you determine the initial velocity? Initial velocity means the velocity at time t equals to 0. Velocity at time t equals to 0. So see here, initial velocity equals to v, t equals to 0 at t equals to 0. So you substitute into 0 square minus 4 into 0 plus 5. So it will be 0 minus 0 plus 5, that is equals to 5 meter per second. 5 meter per second. This will be the initial velocity. It is clear? Now you have to find the velocity at t equals to 2 seconds. Velocity at t equals to 2 seconds. So at t equals to 2 seconds, it will be equal to what? You substitute in the expression of velocity in place of that t you put 2. So 9 into 2 square minus 4 into 2 plus 5. So 9 4 ja 36 minus 8 plus 5. So it is equals to 36 minus 8, that will be equals to 2833 meter per second. It's clear this. Now you have to determine acceleration. So as already you have determined the velocity. So how will you find acceleration? So as you know that in terms of velocity, what is acceleration? Acceleration equals to A equals to dv upon dt. dv upon dt. And what will be dv upon dt? It is d by dt of 9t square minus 4t plus 5. It's clear? 9t square minus 4t plus 5. So you can simplify 9 into d by dt of t square. d by dt of every term. d by dt of this, d by dt of this, d by dt of this. But numbers we will write before. d by dt of t and d by dt of 5. So what will be this? 9 into 2 into t. 2 into t, 2 minus 1. Minus 4 into 1. That is equals to 18t minus 4. What is t here? You have to find the acceleration at what time? At t equals to 2 seconds. So at t equals to 2 seconds, what is acceleration? That will be equals to 18 into 2 minus 4. That is 36 minus 4. That is 32 meter per second square. You see once again. How will you find the acceleration? So as you know that acceleration is d by dt of v, rate of change of velocity. It's clear? Delta v upon delta t. Here in calculus we will write it as d by dt of v. It's clear? d by dt of v, what is the v? V is there, you can see. So you substitute here. Then you open the bracket and simplify. So it will be 9 into d by dt of t square minus 4 into d by dt of t plus d by dt of 5. Now what is d by dt of t square? So it will be 2 into t. d by dt of t, that will be 1. So when you will simplify, it will come out 18t minus 4. Now you substitute t equals to 2. So you will get the value of acceleration this. It's clear? So this is the use of differentiation. This is the use of differentiation in the what you can say in physics. It's clear? Now in next lecture I will explain you what is integration. That is also one part of calculus, differential calculus. Thank you.